Welcome to the Health Courage Collective Podcast, Episode 1. What is the Health Courage Collective Podcast? Welcome to the Health Courage Collective Podcast, the show for women who are too busy to slog through hours of generalized, inapplicable, and often contradictory health information, but too smart to ignore that a few minutes of focused attention now can prevent years of suffering in the future. I'm your host, Christina Hackett, a pharmacist who doesn't want you to live on prescriptions, a certified coach specifically trained to maximize your potential, and a compulsive learner obsessed with preventative, cutting-edge, holistic, and integrative medicine. I'm on a mission to increase your physical and mental resilience so you can fearlessly look forward to your next 40-plus limitless years. Your time is now. Let's go. Welcome to the very first episode of the Health Courage Collective Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My goal with this podcast is to expand what you believe is possible for yourself and convince you to genuinely look forward to aging by providing you with useful, concise, and practical strategies that you will actually use to become a healthier and more confident you. I aim to make this the least overwhelming health strategy podcast out there. I will keep each weekly episode short and meaningful. I am committed to being respectful of your time and honoring the gift of your attention. I know that you're busy and the last thing you need is something more added on to your to-do list. But I also know that if we aren't intentional about creating physical and emotional wellness, circumstances of the modern world will take their toll and will end up in less than ideal health. A little bit more about me. I've been a pharmacist for 17 years. I graduated with a doctorate of pharmacy degree from the University of Utah in 2004. I truly love my job as a pharmacist, and I also think that people should avoid taking medications whenever possible. It might sound like there's a bit of a disconnect there, but to me, it's just who I am. I'm absolutely fascinated with all the amazing, intricate biochemical processes that are constantly going on in our bodies. It's so awe-inspiring to me. And learning about how we can affect those processes is interesting. But too often, altering one thing leads to many more problems, or side effects, if you will. And even worse, so many medications prescribed with the best of intentions only mask a symptom rather than support the body in correcting the root cause of the problem, which is what true healing is. Every day that I'm at work in the pharmacy, I see so many patients who are on 10 or more daily medications. A lot of the times, they don't even know why they're taking most of them. We live in a pill for an ill society. Measure one metric. If it's out of range, prescribe a medication to be taken for the rest of your life. This is great for the pharmaceutical companies, but not so great for our bodies because they don't work that way. Everything is interconnected, and our bodies are amazing at healing themselves if given the correct ingredients and support. This is why I transitioned into also becoming a coach. I am so excited that I'm officially certified as a human potential coach, which took me 9 months of intense work, because this gives me the skills and opportunity to help people in a new and better way. If you're interested in living way beyond the standard of care, there are little things that we can all learn and do to make sure our physiologic age is younger than our chronologic age. That way we can enjoy our wisdom and experience and still have the energy, strength, and resilience to do whatever we choose for however long we choose. This is aging on our own terms, and it's not something you'll find by relying solely on traditional Western medicine or following standard American dietary guidelines. To be clear, I'm not anti-Western medicine or anti-alternative medicine. I am pro doing what works and being confident in the choice you made for yourself. I know it takes courage to own up to the truth of where you might be falling short of your potential. It takes courage to set and go after goals. It takes courage to believe something will work when up until now, nothing has. It takes courage to try something new and maybe a little weird, to walk your own path and to say no to so-called normal aging, with its accompanying steadily increasing number of diagnoses and medications. I'm here to encourage you as you decide what will have the most impact for you, and then get after it. I want you to up-level any and all areas of your life that you choose to, but you don't need to start all at once. A few minutes a week can set you on a path to a better version of yourself, and it would be my honor to walk with you. I'm so excited to connect with you every week on this podcast. I invite you to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And if you're interested in connecting with some awesome like-minded women, come join my free Facebook group called the Health Courage Collective, where I can answer questions and we can all encourage one another. I'll put a link in the show notes. Until next week, don't be normal. Thank you so much for tuning into the Health Courage Collective podcast. I am truly honored that you have paid me the enormous compliment of your time and attention. I would be so grateful if you would share this podcast with someone you know and subscribe so you never miss an episode. This podcast is for entertainment and information purposes only. Statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Christina Hackett and producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse events by use of information contained herein. Opinions of the host and guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any guarantees about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements or advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have financial interest in products discussed herein. If you think you have a medical problem, consult a licensed physician.